Marlene, can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear you. Is my background, can you
Yeah.
see where it says, can you read it or is it backwards?
It's backwards.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
had I had the one on here. It wasn't backwards
Yep.
and I don't know what happened to it.
I know I saw that when I thought, oh, good, the girl's got it turned around.
Yeah, and then I had it and I haven't been taught a class for a bit and and so I feel like I need to fix it.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a door of a doctor's office up
Yeah,
against the door, right?
well, but it's so funny because on my side I can read it, but when I'm trying to fix it, I don't remember like
I'm not
how to
techno.
add.
I'm not techno bunny here. Somebody else is gonna
Uh,
have to help you.
Neither am I, which is, oh, but I can do my eyebrows. I just found that. And
Handy.
I can have a mustache or a beard as well. So I don't want those things, but I have 3 minutes to try to fix it, and if not, then I will.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to take a doctor's call around 4:30, 5 o'clock sometime.
Okay.
Get a
Um,
prescription for bronchitis.
oh, I'm sorry.
Stuff doesn't know when to leave. But
Right.
the one good thing is I'm not hungry during it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, that's a different background.
That's my house. Those are my babies. Those are my kids.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, look, and then it says echo tapping in that background with all my kids' baby pictures in it. So let's see. I may just have to do the blur and then figure it out. I had it, and then when I was like, oh, I don't need to double check it because I'm feeling pretty strong about it, that's when that false sense of security. But that's okay. It could be worse things. At least I was able to get into the meeting, right? Like
That's
it could be
important.
worse. Yeah.
Rocky, I think I was supposed to call you and I haven't. I just haven't. I've had so much in my head lately.
That's okay. I haven't
Me
felt
too.
well, so
Okay.
I've had my
Okay.
head in a barrel.
Anybody that has my number is welcome to call me too. I do live in Canada, but I'm willing to call back so it doesn't cost you. We can't hear you, Brittany Watkins.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was telling Rocky, I wasn't on the call on Friday, uh, but I did the ball of light with the stuff that I wanted to get rid of. And then I was able to kind of process through that stuff a little bit better. So I don't know if that might be helpful for you. Um, but because my parents passed away, actually today's the day my dad passed away 20 years ago, and my mom passed away 25 years ago on Christmas. And so I did that with some of those things, and that was helpful.
My sister
Yeah.
passed away last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
To-
It's it's very, like I don't know, I some days are better than others.
There you go.
No matter how old I get. It's very bittersweet because there are some things that I just miss them so much, but I'm so grateful that those events are happening, like my kids graduating from high school.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the moment, but I'm sad that they're not there to celebrate with us.
Hmm.
Um, so my background, I haven't got, I mean, I had it figured out and then now I don't have it figured out, but I'm just glad that we're all here. So I'll go ahead and start to respect your time because you guys were here on time and thank you so much for that. My name is Erin and I'm one of the tapping coaches. I'm one of the newer coaches, so I haven't started my one-on-one stuff yet. I am not new to coaching. I've been a health coach for a number of years. I specialize in sugar addiction, and that's kind of where and fasting and that type of stuff is where I have my background in. But I was a teacher for a very long time. I love teaching. I love learning. I'm a lifelong student, as maybe many of you are. And I found this program probably, I have no idea how because I'm not on social media at all. I did not get actually even on Facebook until I took this class, and that's how we communicated with each other. But it just kind of popped up in my email one day. And I thought that, hey, this is the missing piece. And so that's kind of where I'm at with the program and how I kind of view it. But it's just a great community. It's a tapping family. I'm not sure if anybody is new here today or has not been on a call yet. But today is one of the education pieces that we're doing. So we are doing the resistance to exercise today. Um, and so I kind of just wanted to start with kind of thinking about what that means to you. Um, this one, when I got this one, because they just say, "Hey, do this, do this, do that," and I'm like, "Yes." Um, I love to exercise. I love it. I crave it. I can't get enough of it, which probably also isn't a good thing, but it is a very big outlet for me. It's my therapy. It's my, and actually I kind of had to step back a lot from it this year because I had a knee replacement in last January, and foot surgery in October, and I just got shoulder surgery done 2 weeks ago. And so I really had to dial back and step back and kind of redefine what that means as far as exercise in my life and where to fit it in. And so now I'm just getting started going again after this almost year of not doing what I wanted to do. Um, so so what are your guys' thoughts on exercise? It's a small group, so we can just kind of pop out and say, hey, this is what I don't like it. I love it. I like to do this. Like, what is your definition of exercise? What do you guys like to do or not like to do? You guys don't have to raise your hands. Like I said, we're a small group. There's only one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 or 9 of us. Rocky, go ahead. Thank you.
I don't like it.
None of it, like,
Nothing really. I've never had to exercise to lose weight, but I've been a yo-yo type person,
okay.
and I have really been trying. I mean, I got the walking mat that Brittany has. She
Yes,
came
yeah.
on.
I'm saving
I
up. I'm saving up.
I got one of those. I mean, yeah, it was like $90. And then I've been sick the last week, so I haven't felt like doing anything. And I've got a vibration plate. I'm more likely to do the vibration plate. And I've got it all set up to where it's where the TV is. There's no reason not to,
Yeah.
but it's really the motivation of doing it.
Okay. So
And
even just that motivation piece, do
it's a
you feel,
procrastination.
okay, do you feel like when you do the exercise that you feel better about even just not necessarily even just physically better, but like, hey, I did it, like checking it off the list?
I really can't say that I do.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm just really having trouble with I'm beating myself up on that because especially this last week that the fatigue has just been so heavy.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there and it's like I know I need to do that, but I don't feel good.
Well, and like I think that we all have to have a why because how I actually got started, I was not athletic in high school. I tried to be. I got cut from the eighth grade basketball team. Me and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a very different response. I did not. I was like, I now hate basketball. So, um, so, um, so mine, I didn't get started until after high school. And yes, I did play some volleyball because my friends were playing with it. I did, PE class and stuff like that. But I had my boyfriend at the time, his cousin's wife had a baby, and she wanted to start running again to get back into shape, but he wouldn't let her run alone. And we lived in the same neighborhood. And she was like, I'll buy you a new pair of running shoes. And I was like, I'm in. A new pair of shoes, I'm in. And that's actually how I got started, was that. And having a buddy was very helpful as well, right? Like having that accountability partner.
Mhm.
Um, But now, is there a reason why you think that you need to exercise? Is it to help with the fatigue? Is it just because it makes you mentally feel better? Like, what are some of those reasons?
Because I'm supposed to do it.
Okay, okay, because
That's,
society,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now,
And I did have a little health scare a little while back, and everything ended up coming out okay. And my cardiologist said, I want you to be as healthy when you're 80 as you are now
yeah,
at
right.
70. And my follow-up appointment with him is Thursday, and I haven't lost any weight. Even with the tapping, even with, when I got into the Christmas holiday program, and I mean, I kicked sugar, I kicked breads, I kicked everything. A big problem that I've had, and I've mentioned also, is trying to put protein into my diet because I am not eating enough. I have no desire to eat prior to
Right.
getting sick last week.
You have also been on my mind. Don't forget about the plant-based proteins, right? Like there's
Hmm.
tofu, there, you know what I mean? Eggs is not plant-based, but
Edamame,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Yep.
Hmm.
So don't forget about those as well. But I understand I struggle to eat enough during the day because I'm like, "Ugh, I feel like I just ate." And so then sometimes, but what is also too what I think what happens with women is that a lot of our lives, I don't know, especially this is what happened to me, especially being a mom. I felt like one of the first questions my kids asked me, what's for dinner? Packing them lunches, getting them breakfast. I just felt like so much revolved around food that I was like just constantly thinking about food, not necessarily ingesting it, but oh, what are we going to have for dinner? Right? Like just preparing. And this is why I know our grandparents had like spaghetti night, taco night, meatloaf night, because you would
Hmm.
go to the store and you would know exactly what to buy.
Hmm.
And because that's the schedule, instead of me wandering around the store saying, I don't know, what do you guys want to eat? And they're like, well, I don't know. And so they're like, anything is good. That's what my husband always says. Whatever you want to make is what's good. I'm like, no, I really need you to tell me what you want because I
Hmm.
don't want to make anything, right? Um, yeah. And then also too, I feel like as women, exercise is just another thing to add. Because with all this stuff, like for all this self-care, I'm like, how am I supposed to work when I just need to do all this self-care for myself, right? Like, how am I supposed to fit this in? So I think that if we look at it like a big picture like that is too big, we need to chunk it down. We need to make it smaller. We need to maybe redefine what exercise means to us. Because for me, it was anywhere between 1 hour to 3 hours, sweat pouring down me. Like I love that. But if I didn't have that big chunk of time to commit to it, like an hour, I would be like, I can't do anything. Like it's not going to be enough. When in fact it is, even if it's just 20 minutes. And also too, like I would view certain things like, well, yoga is not exercise because I'm not drenched in sweat, so I don't feel like I'm getting you know what I mean, my exercise in. And that's not true either. I just had to redefine some of those things for me. Um, and so it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just like you said, your vibration plate, you could be watching the Olympics on that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And, and just sitting on that for 20 minutes. Now, when you do this, do you like wake up that morning and say, I'm going to do that today? Or is it just like, I should do that today? Or like, is it there a plan already in place? Or is it like, it's there, I see it, I should do it, but meh.
It's more like it should. I'm not a morning person, so you're not going to get me to do anything before 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So usually evenings, I'm an evening person. I've always
Okay.
worked nights and evenings.
Okay.
So that I when I first got the walking mat, I was doing really good in the evenings. And
Okay.
then, something came up, and this evening I couldn't get in there to do it. And then the next evening, oh, I'll get on the vibration plate and I'll do one or the other. It just falls off of my radar.
Now, what happens when you think of like, if I could just do it 3 times a week instead of being like, I need to do this every day, would that be something that you are more inclined to do? Like, oh, I'll do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That might be a better hunk to take off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think that when we try to do something every day, then like we start feeling like the pressure of, again, just adding more stuff to our plate of like, oh, got to get this done, got to get this done. And you can still really reap benefits from doing it 3 times a day. And then if you're like, this is really making me feel good, I might add another day, type of thing. Or I might do weight training that day. So I am not a coffee person. So when my friends are always like, let's meet for coffee, I'm like, let's meet for a walk and talk. And so we meet at the park and we walk and talk instead. And so doing little things like that can also be helpful. And it's simply because I'm not like, I like tea, but I'm not a coffee drinker. And so, but I feel like a lot of people are like, let's get together for coffee. Let's get together for coffee. And it doesn't even have to be like going on a bike trail or, you know what I mean, or anything like that. It can just be like, let's go, walk around on the sidewalks in this neighborhood or whatever. And so, so it doesn't have to be anything. I think that sometimes we overthink it to try to be something more than it has to be.
Hmm.
So thank you
Yeah.
for sharing. And I'm going to come back to you. Is anybody else? What are you guys doing for exercise now? Is there anything that you guys really like doing, don't like doing? Marlene.
I like to swim. Actually, what I do is
Yes.
we have a lot of indoor pools in Canada, all kinds of community centers. And so
Yeah.
I usually buy 10 and 20 punch passes, and I like to run in the deep end. Like basically
Ah,
motors like cycle and do aquafit in the deep end, whether there's a class or not. I do like a class, but I really like that. I've just been sick this winter, so I can't go to the pool until I'm well, but I really
yes.
like doing that. And I've even taken up, I used to go to the hot tub, but I ended up getting a problem from sitting in hot tubs. So I find it's better to go into the dry sauna anyway.
Yeah.
I really enjoy both those things. Um,
Nice.
I enjoy walking, but I've had a really crummy sciatic nerve for the last
Mm.
couple of years anyway. And so I'm a little nervous about the distance I'm going to go walking off to, even though if I use walking sticks, it works pretty good. But I never have anybody to actually go with me. Sometimes somebody will go swimming with me, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a problem. I don't like lifting weights. I've got a really good Schwinn Aerodyne bike here that I've had for about 20 years, sitting right in front of the TV, but very rarely do I get on and ride it. Uh, so I guess incentive is the main thing. I just don't
Yeah.
seem to be scheduled. I don't know. Like I'm in my early 70s and I kind of wonder if I'm just tired of all the routines. I just think I'm tired
Right.
of it,
Well,
you
and
know?
that's why too, maybe if we don't make it necessarily so yes, I don't want to say not a routine, but yes, like, hey, I'm gonna do it, but it doesn't like it's not gonna be like ride or die. If it's not done by 1 o'clock, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
be graceful with yourself. But I love the swimming and that's great on your joints and everything like that. I love that. I love that you were able to get to that. Um and um and also the sauna, that's great for detoxing. And like today, I'm only able to do my PT because of my shoulder stuff, but I'm just so tight. I was like, I can't do this. So I think after this, I'll go get in the sauna, see if I can loosen up a little bit, type of thing. So I think everything kind of has its place. But it sounds like even just you're interested in the walking. Now, are you the type of person that, or are any of you that will only exercise if somebody does it with you, or do you enjoy it more in that group setting? Because I noticed that you said, yeah, I do like a class, that's okay, but I'll still go and do it just because I want to do it.
I having somebody to do it with doesn't mean I'll do it.
Okay.
I I'm so used to being alone and nobody wanting to do stuff with me
Yeah.
that I just do stuff alone. That's where
I've
swimming's
always, yeah.
handy.
If I waited for somebody to do everything with, I'd never do anything.
Hmm.
Right. So yeah, so I'll just go by myself as well. And so, but you can also like if you're obviously not swimming, but if you're going for a walk or something, you can get some stuff done during that walk. You can be making phone calls, you can be catching up with somebody, you can be doing that type of thing too. So if you feel like you need to, sometimes people feel like when they're, exercising or walking or something, they need to be doing a little bit more. Sometimes I like to go for I call it a sensory walk, and that's without music, and that's just listening to my surroundings and being in the moment, and just using my senses. So I try to do that at least once a week, just to be like, hey, I do hear the wind, and hey, I do hear, you know what I mean, type of thing. Because I live in the forest,
Hmm.
um, and we have mountain lions, and so I do want to hear that. I do want to be aware of my surroundings.
Good
So,
idea.
yeah, yeah. So, but also too, another tip is making a great playlist to whatever you like to exercise to. Your body has muscle memory to that music. And so when you start using that music to exercise with, I literally, if I hear one of my running songs come over a radio or even at the grocery store, my running brain automatically kicks on. And literally, I'm like, and so when I was getting over my knee surgery, I was kind of walking with a little bit of a gimp. And my physical therapist was like, why are you walking like that? You have full range of motion. And I'm like, I don't know. So I went out on the trail and I put my music on, my running music, and my body was like, I know what to do. And I didn't run, I just walked, but my body knew exactly how to move to that music. And so I was watching my shadow and I was like, wow, because it's just that muscle memory of what I do to that music. You know how like music is so powerful, it can like take you back into time, like to a memory or something like that, right? Like maybe it was like a high school dance or, you know what I mean, or roller skating or something like that. And so music is very powerful. So it can also help you through this as well. Um, so I like to music and I like sometimes just instrumental music when I'm exercising with no words. Sometimes I like to have the words, so it just kind of depends. So now, is there anybody else what do you guys do for exercise? So I've heard from Rocky and Marlene. What else do you guys like to do? Do we have any yoga out there? Do we have any rowing, riding your bike, anything, any type of movement, right, is defined as exercising. Some people will wear their pedometer to see how many steps they're getting in. Karen, did you want to share as your hand going up?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I started doing Pilates 26 years ago, and I
nice.
became an instructor 3 years later. So I taught quite a bit. And since COVID, I just teach one class a week online. And one thing that I find for myself to motivate is a calendar because I like to see visually what I've done. So this year I got a Sandra Boynton calendar.
I
And so
love her. I
yeah,
love her.
so it's designed a little differently. So what I did is I put the type of exercise up here. So right now I'm getting physio for TMJ, so that's there. And then I have physio for a bridge for my SI problem, so that's there. And then I've got Pilates, and then I've got cardio, which I have a recumbent bike, and then Yamana, which is a ball thing. So
Nice.
that's I think for me it's just a matter of starting. Like once I start, I'm good. It's just you forget. And if you get in the habit of doing it like 3 times a week, like you said, muscle memory, you feel like I feel like there's something missing.
Right. I can remember I used to be in this HIT class when I wasn't teaching, and then I started teaching. And at 1 o'clock every day, when they would start that, I'm sorry, at noon when they would start that class at every day, my body would be like, "What's going? Why aren't we there? Like, what's going on? We've done that for 10 years, and all of a sudden we're not doing it." So it would crave movement at that time, and so for my lunch break, I would go for a walk to at least get some type of movement in. I love that calendar. I love Sandra Burton. I used to read all of her books to my kids when they were
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so but it doesn't have to be, like you said, complicated. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. There's so many things online that you guys can also look up. I know that Coach Teresa did that movement class, and that is recorded in somewhere. But it was just sitting in the chair, and actually I was in a sling when I was doing that movement class because I had just gotten my shoulder done 2 days before, and it just felt good to move because I hadn't moved a whole lot because I had my sling and I was trying not to move a ton. So just any type of movement, but also too, what is good for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's good for the next person. Like I said, I'm like, let's take Zumba for example. I have no timing. I have no, I am the one that's sticking out like a sore thumb. I am
Mhm.
5 steps behind. My brain does not work that way. Like I cannot do Zumba to save my life. But I can run forever, like, or walk forever, or like I have endurance. I just can't do, my body doesn't work that way. And so that's not a good choice for me. But it is, other people love it. So there is not a right or a wrong. Kathy, do you want to share?
Oh, I
You're
was
just right
just
up in front.
chuckling.
So, oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
That
I
was
was
like,
chuckling a little bit when you mentioned Zumba because I've tried that too, and that is not my thing. But
yeah,
yeah, but I've always been pretty active, and I find exercise. I always mostly look forward to it. But I also realize there's some things I will never do, like I am not a runner.
right.
And I'm a very much a social exerciser, which I found painfully true when COVID hit, because all of the, gyms or classes or things that I would go to weren't happening. Um, but yeah, I do a whole variety, although I found that lately my issue is my schedule. I have a full-time sedentary in front of the computer job,
Yeah,
and
me too.
I'm doing, various other online courses and things. And so I'm spending a lot of time sitting in front of a computer. And I've kind of, as Karen was talking about the routine, I feel better when I have like a routine and it becomes a regular thing. And like you said, I kind of, that time comes, I'm like, okay, it's time to go move, right? But I've kind of
Yeah.
gotten out of that and I'm trying to get back to that. So,
Let me ask you this because my job has changed and I used to be a preschool teacher for like
mhm,
10 or 15 years and that was a lot of movement and things like that too. And then I went to a
yeah.
computer job and I actually for my lunch break go for a walk because I can eat at the computer or whatever that lunch, but I just need to go out, and move for that
Yep.
lunch break.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I try that sometimes and I love that
yeah.
idea, but inevitably what's I found has happened, and maybe this is more needing to establish boundaries, but I'm always getting interrupted. Someone
Oh, yeah.
calls, they need something, right? And then I'm not in front of my computer. And so a lot of times lately, I haven't even been taking like a real lunch break.
And so that's what you're right. I had to set those boundaries. I had to set those healthy boundaries. And so I actually on Tuesdays and Thursdays would take and block out 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon.
Hmm.
And anytime somebody asks me to do something, I'm like, nope, I have an appointment. I have a meeting. And they never ask what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever asked, hey, what are you doing? I just say I'm unavailable. And if
Yeah.
they asked what I was doing, I would just be like, I'm unavailable. And I block that out because I live an hour away. And so it takes me an hour to get there, an hour to get back home. So
Yeah.
when I'm there, I'm going to make the most out of my time.
Yeah.
And if I need to answer, you know what I mean? But my boss is very much, it will, under the, it can wait till Monday. Like, you know what I mean? Like it can wait.
Hmm.
Like that is still going to be there when you get back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you can deal with it then. But I started doing that for myself and it just, because I make up the time in other places because I do work from home. So I can work a little bit longer. I can start
Hmm.
earlier the day before, so you can make it up in those other places. But I had to just do that for my sanity. And sometimes when I'm at the computer, I'll just stand up and start doing air squats just to get that movement in, just to be like, because when I worked in an office, the copier would go off and I'd run to the copier to be like, I need to move. And but then
Yeah.
so we all need to move. And so you have a little bit more freedom if you work from home that you're able to maybe kind of do some of those things, or like go and do an outdoor chore really quick, whether it's, you know, watering trees, bringing over firewood. That's what I do sometimes because, like I said, we live in the forest and things like that. Just even going and get the mail, just getting out for a few.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might
Thanks.
start. Yeah,
Yeah, those are all really good reminders.
yeah,
And again, I was sort of chuckling when you mentioned, blocking out time as like an appointment and people won't know. Um, One of the things I do for fun, for me, I always want exercise to be fun, mostly.
yeah.
And I play ice hockey
Nice.
And I used to put on my Friday afternoon calendar that I had an appointment with Dr. Snoopy because it was at the Snoopy ice rink, and nobody cared.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So,
Right. But you're kind of like he, yeah, yeah.
right.
No. Well, but I think that that's people do get like mental health days and things like that too. So for me, I am a better wife, I'm a better mom, I'm just I feel better about myself when I exercise. So there's a lot of those other benefits, not just the to look good or whatever, because to me that is almost just like something that happens on the side. You know what I mean? That's not why I do it. Mine is very much more mental on why I feel like I need it. But that's just one of those benefits on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too. It's
yeah,
very much about the mental for me
yeah.
too.
Now,
Anyway, I'll
Margaret,
let
I saw. Okay,
someone else share.
thank you, Kathy. Margaret, I saw your hand go up, but I don't see you now, so I don't know if you were able to, if you wanted to share or not.
Let's just take a break, and I'm back now.
Oh, great.
Um, I am a retired person, um, and I'm 77 years old. And a few years ago, I had an accident and messed up both my knees. So um, all of my activity level changed. And I was the one who played, I was going to be a gym teacher. That was my goal as in school. Uh, and then as you take all the science, I found geology and other things. So I didn't wind up being a gym teacher, but was able to teach tennis for the parks department, um, different things. And I was a hiker. I've been a lot of places hiking, but I can't do that anymore. Um,
So are you doing
but,
anything at the moment or nothing?
well, the things that I do are like I do a lot. I moved from a house in a yard to a senior apartment. I live up on the fourth floor, and uh, you have to leave your apartment to do everything.
Yeah, yeah. That's they want you to do that because of the social aspect of it, which is also super healthy for us. Do they have classes there, like a silver sneakers class where you can sit in the chair
No,
and do the
no.
exercises? They have things like that offered.
Well, they have some groups occasionally, and um, but I'm looking into silver sneakers. I have
It,
never done that.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I also work at a rec center and I teach kids creative movement classes, and silver sneakers is wonderful. It you have a chair, it's stuff that you can also do at home. Now, keep in mind some of this equipment that, like, if you were to do something at home, you could also get things that, don't take up a lot of room. Like, instead of weights, you could still do bands. You know what I mean?
Right,
And that can
right.
still get, and they don't take up a lot of room. And what I love about the Silver Sneakers program is we all have a chair at home. And so we can, hopefully one without wheels, and we can all do those exercises, from a sitting position, or maybe even a standing position, depending on what the exercise is. So it really is a good program. I do encourage you to check that out. Do you prefer working in a group setting or by yourself?
Um, I'm okay doing things by myself. I do some chair yoga that's on YouTube.
Nice.
Um, During COVID, my I started going to the grocery store twice a week. That was my interaction because I was living in a house at that time. And so to be around other people, I put my mask on and go to the store and, just being with people,
Yeah, it, it
just
it
being with people.
it really does make a big difference. And sometimes I work at home, and my husband, he is gone for 48 hours at a time with his job, and sometimes I'm like, "You're the first person I've talked to in 2 days." So
Right.
a little bit like over the top probably for those people. But you forget, I haven't talked to anybody today, and so that can happen really easily. Well, I'm glad that you have some of those things offered and that you're up for doing them. So that's great.
Well, one of the things is I continue the habit of going to the store twice a week instead of like when I worked, where you went once a week and got enough stuff for the week, and you know how that goes. And I find I don't waste as much food as I used to because I only focus on a few days at a time,
Yeah.
because there would be times when I'd make plans, oh, I'm going to fix this and this. And then something else would come up and I'd wind up having to put stuff in the freezer or whatever. But when I go to the store, I do use a cane. And when I go to the store, I don't park real close. I park out
Oh,
of
good.
the way, but I park close to the basket return.
Mm.
So I can get a basket and I don't have to use my cane and use that to get into the store and around.
Yeah,
And
that's a good idea to park close to the basket
well,
thing. Yeah.
one of my nieces has um, psoriatic arthritis, and she is like the Pillsbury Doughboy because of steroids. And she is having a hard time getting around. And I was telling her, well, you got to park by the basket return, and then you can use the basket to get in. And it was like a ray of sunshine for her.
Yeah, I used to do that when my kids were little so that I wouldn't put them in the car and have to walk halfway across the parking lot. Because one day I did that and I thought, what if I got hit by a car? Nobody would know my kids were in the car. So I was like, but no, those are all great ideas. So thank you so much for sharing.
And
Um,
my
oh, I'm
watch
sorry.
does count steps, so I
Oh,
keep up with
nice.
my steps, and I average around 3,000 steps. So
Nice.
I'm happy about that, and I do my housework, and um,
That's no joke. Housework is no joke, you guys. Yeah.
yes,
Um,
and
yeah.
I know Marlene is in a moving situation, and believe me,
Oh,
you'll get a workout.
yes,
You
yes.
really will.
Um, Especially this time of the year in Canada. I'm sure there's lots of snow there. Where I am at, there should be snow, but there is not. Um,
Well, I'm in Houston and it's in the upper 70s here.
yeah. Um, but yeah, you're right. All of those things are good. All of that movement is good. Now, how many of you guys have done the tapping for exercise and done the figure eight? How many of you guys have done that? Have you guys tried that yet? And what has your success been? I see Marlene shaking her head no. Kathy, no. Rocky, have you tried that yet? Now, when we do this with the figure eight, it's kind of like the infinity symbol on its side. Um, when we do that, it's kind of training your brain. Now, some of us have with exercise, some of us may have had like a bad experience or something like that with exercise. Like maybe they had a trauma with exercise, like maybe being made fun of, maybe, getting picked last. I actually had a friend and her son had forgotten his tennis shoes for, um, for PE, and she took them to the PE class, and she said as soon as she walked through that door, all this anxiety started happening, and she was like, where is this coming from? And then it finally hit her how mean her gym teacher was all through elementary school, and how that's why she doesn't like exercising. So if there's been like a trauma or something around it, that is something that we could do echo dynamic tapping with, or some anger work with. We can work with that. But if you're just like not having that motivation for exercise, we can do this figure eight, or like the infinity symbol. Okay. So figure eight on the side to try to help with some of that motivation. Okay. So when we're thinking about this, uh, I don't want you guys to ever think of as exercise as punishment. This is something that you guys, I always, when I'm exercising and people are complaining, I always think we get to do this. And there are so many people that wish they could do this and they can't, but we're able to do this. And in my mind, I was always like, if I can do a burpee, I am good. I can do anything. And then this year, when my knee, my foot, and my shoulder surgery, I can't do a burpee. So I'm like, I now have a goal. And so you can set goals. You can set like when sometimes when I was first starting out, I would kind of bribe myself with new running shoes or a new shirt, or you know what I mean? I never did food because I never want was never bribed with food as a kid, so that didn't even cross my mind. But it was like something tangible, like, oh, or so, once I get to this point, I can sign up for this or do, you know what I mean? So that sometimes I would kind of even bribe myself to kind of get it going a little bit. And so, but that's not, necessarily a healthy thing to do either. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this clear mental pattern where that we want to exercise right now. We want to break things maybe into smaller chunks, just like I was talking about with Rocky. Like maybe instead of I have to do this every day, to hey, let's do it 3 times a week. Let's try Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But if you don't do it on Friday, okay, I didn't do it on Friday, so let's do it on Saturday. Right? So it doesn't have to be set in stone. It can be flexible, but we're going to try to get as consistent as we can. That's the main thing, is this consistency. Because when you show up and when you start doing it, that muscle memory will just start happening, and your body will be like, hey, we're supposed to be doing something right now. Hey, what are we missing? What are we supposed to be doing right now? And so that's what will also happen as well. Okay. And so when we're thinking about, you know, um, when we're exercising, I think that sometimes a lot of us view it as punishment. And so that's not, I want you to view it like as invigorating, as, you know what I mean? If you're able to, but if we have that negative view, we might have to go do some different tapping on that. But would anybody like to try with me to do the figure eight? Would anybody like to try that? Rocky, do you want to give that a shot? Or, oh, Debbie, well, you raised your hand quick. You are quick, Debbie. All right. And then if we have time, we'll switch over to somebody else too. Debbie, tell me a little bit about your exercise life.
Well, in school, I was pretty athletic. And then after I got married, I moved to a town that I was afraid to do anything. So I really didn't do anything, but I worked. And then later on, I went to like swimming exercises, stuff like that. But at one point, I used to come home from work and walk 3 miles a day, every single day.
Okay.
Don't know what happened that I stopped doing that. I beat myself up all the time because I see comments where people that I've gone to school with are like, yeah, you were real athletic. And I'm thinking, and I still should be. I pay $25 a month at the gym, and I don't like to go. I live like 8 miles from town. And other than the gym, I don't hardly ever go to the store. When I do, I go over, it's over an hour away. There's just really nothing to do. I call the college, and they don't have the swimming where you can go swim anymore. And so I don't know anybody where I can go swim and exercise, because I like to do that.
Does the rec center not have a pool?
They don't have a rec center.
Or I mean the health club or whatever you were talking about being a part of?
Just exercise.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not anything that big. But I have a bike, stationary bike, And I can relate to Rocky because I have the vibrator plate, and I make myself do it sometimes, and I really feel good after I do it. In fact, I believe it's helped my blood pressure because my feet don't swell like they did.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
just making myself do it. And I don't know. I think, is this, why am I not doing it? Why am I not doing it?
Well, and it's not that you can't, it's that your body, like I said, we just sometimes get off track a little bit and then we just have to get back on track. And I remember one time before I went to the rec center, I was like, I need to get fit before I go. And so, and then, because I work there, I have one lady, she goes, just come. We don't care. And so I always call her my unicorn because I would not have started yet had she not just been like, just come, just come. And so that's what I always tell people, just come, and we'll figure it out later. And so I always call her, she's my unicorn because she was the one that was just like, just start somewhere, just somewhere. Whether
Wow.
that means 5 minutes on the vibration plate or that means 3 minutes on the bike or whatever, right? So just start somewhere. And then once we get that starting point, then that's kind of when it can snowball a little bit more, right? And so, so if you were to pick an exercise, what exercise would it be? Would it be the bike? Would it be going, you know what I mean? What would you like to be doing?
Um, Probably either the bike or walking. I like to
Okay.
do. One thing is I like to do exercise with people. My massage
Okay.
therapist, like Debbie, after I lost my husband, she's like, you just need that interaction. You need to go, and they have a silver sneakers. And she said,
Oh,
we,
nice.
do the chair yoga and everything. And I'm like, but I don't know anybody. And
Not yet.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so I kind of, I'm real, in a sense, I'm a shy person, but once I get to know you, I'm not really shy. It's just making myself get into that mode.
Yes. Yes. I am an introverted extrovert. Like I can turn it on like a switch. I was a teacher. You can turn that stuff on like a switch whenever you need to, right? Yeah. And so, I think that too, I think that that social piece is very important, especially for those of us that live alone. I think that that's extremely important. There are a lot of times maybe in your community, like a walking club, people that are getting together to do certain, activities as far as like you said the silver sneakers and things like that. So community is very important, especially for those of us that live alone. And it just makes it more fun as well. But it doesn't mean you have to do it every time with community. You could still go on a walk on your own, or you could still do, whatever on your own. Like let's say, you've been going to the silver sneakers at this club that you're going to, but the weather was bad, and you're like, I don't want to go because the weather is bad. I'm just going to do my bike today. And that's, you know what I mean? Those types of things are totally fine. Sometimes we just have to pivot a little bit. But sometimes we get in our head exactly so rigid in what that exercise needs to look like, right? Just like I was like, yoga, that doesn't do it for me because I'm not dripping with sweat. Well, that's not what I'm getting out of it that day. So sometimes I have to just change my mindset a little bit. So yes, if we're able to do with community, I think that that's great. But if we're not, that's going to be okay as well. Now, let's say when you're getting ready to, let's say you're getting ready to go out or to go out on a walk. Okay, what do you do and what time of the day do you do that at? Like, what would you pick like after lunchtime, like in the afternoon? Would you do that in the morning? Like, what would that look like?
I would probably do it in the afternoon.
Okay, so like between lunch and dinner, like
Hmm.
that type of thing. Okay. And then, so as that time gets closer, do you find yourself getting excited about it or kind of like dreading it or like, oh, I need to go do that?
I think really more than anything, I think there's a fear there because I don't know why, but I could just go up to this college and walk around, but just not having somebody there. What if I fall? What if I this? What if I that? Who's gonna
Yeah. Oh,
help?
honey, if you're on a college campus, there'll be people there to help you, I promise. Yeah, they'll be out there. But also too, my sister goes hiking alone a lot. She calls me before she goes. She actually has a GPS thing because we live in the mountains, so she goes out in the mountains. But then she also calls me when she gets back. So that's something that you might be able to do is call somebody in your family and let them know that you're going on a walk, and then when you return. I have my daughters do that all the time with me because they're runners, and I'm like, I need to know where you're, how long you're going to be and where are you at? That's what I want to know. So if they told me it was going to take 30 minutes and it's been an hour since I've heard from them, I'm going to start getting a little concerned.
Right.
And not that it's necessarily they would be hurt by another human, but like I said, they could be hurt on a trail somewhere, right? Type of thing. So we do have those accountability things set in, and that helps take some of that worry off as well. Okay. So those are some little things. I don't run with a wallet or anything or any type of identification on me. So I went to the pet store and I got a cat tag and I put in case of emergency on one side who to call and what my name and everything is on the other side. And then I laced it on my shoelaces. And so I have some identification if something happens if I don't have something on me, like my driver's license, because I usually don't carry a wallet with me. And the ones that they sell at the running stores are like $30. I literally went to Petco or something and got it for $6. Yeah. And it's shaped like a fish, but it still does its job.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and that, I mean, unfortunately, I don't have anybody here at
What about
all.
it doesn't matter if they're there. You said your niece was
Uh,
around, you know what I mean? They don't have to be in the state. They just need to have that accountability with you. Because you can still, like, if you're injured, I can call 911 from here as long as I know where you're at, and I just give them that location.
right.
Yeah, because 911 is good for anywhere in the United States. And the very first thing they ask when you call 911 is what is the location of your emergency? And I
Yes.
would just give them wherever you're at. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So this doing the figure eight,
Yes. Okay.
what does that what does that do with how does that affect
So
her?
So what happens is that we file things in filing cabinets and it just gets your brain to kind of think a little bit different and kind of stretch out because the little picture, so we're going to take a picture of you getting ready to go for a walk in your brain. So think about like maybe what you're getting ready, putting on the clothes that you are going to wear, putting on the shoes that you're going to put on when you get out there, walking out through the garage or whatever, and then just take kind of when you kind of start, maybe kind of dreading it a little bit, maybe when you're putting your shoes on. Um, Take that picture and just put it on these two fingers. That image of you just putting your shoes on. Okay. So go ahead and put that on your two fingers. Okay. And then we're going to hold that about 12 inches from our face. Okay. And then when we do this figure eight, we are going to go around far enough. I'm going to switch hands because that hurts my shoulder this way. We're going to go around and kind of stretch your eyeballs out as far as you can at the end, at the edges. Okay. So when you're doing it, you're going, but you're not turning your head. Did you see how I started turning my head? My right side is where I've had a head injury. And so that's where I tend to have that little glitch over there is on that side. Okay. So sometimes I have to hold my head so that I don't turn it, but that I at least stretch my eyes out. And then by doing that, your eyes have quadrants, and when we move into those different places in the brain, that is getting us ready for whatever picture is on the end of our fingers.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of what that is. It's training in those different quadrants. Okay. And that's when we move, and we need to do this about 10 times. We need to move this through. Okay. And not move our head, but stretch our eyeballs. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So do you have your picture of you with you getting your shoes on before you go out? Okay. So just go ahead and stretch your eyeballs out as far to the right and as far to the left as you can go. Without moving your head. You can hold your chin if you need to. This is not a race because we really want to stretch things out. And if you notice that you kind of your eyes might kind of flicker in a spot, you might want to go over that spot again and then continue, because I can feel like I am so much stronger on my right side doing this, and then my left side is kind of like it's harder for me on my left side. And that was because I had a head injury in a car accident when I was 16.
Mm.
Yeah. I was doing so well counting and I lost count. So let's do that 3 more times. All right, so now, Debbie, I want you to think about something that brings you joy. So that was really good job. Good job. Something that brings you joy, like something, it can be something recent. It doesn't have to do anything with food. It can be something that just brings you joy that you enjoy to do.
Okay.
It could be reading a book. It could be going out to lunch with your friends. It could be spending time with grandkids. It doesn't matter. What brings you joy?
Loving on my puppies.
All right. What are your puppies' names?
I hope. Well, I'm getting a new one in a couple of weeks. Her name is Elkie,
Oh,
but
nice.
Roscoe is the one I keep hearing. Then my grandpuppies are Evie and Jack.
Nice. All right. So now I want you to picture like a picture of you. Okay. We're going to make 2 pictures. We are going to make a picture frame of you putting your running shoes on and you with your puppies. Okay.
Okay.
And those puppies are loving on you and you are loving on them and you are just, joy is just overflowing from your cup. You just love it. Your cup is full and spilling over because of these lovely puppies. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the picture of you running and getting your running shoes on in the front and the picture of you with the puppies in the back. Okay. So, yep. So it's going to look like that. Okay. So in your mind's eye, it's going to look like that. Okay. But
Okay.
what you're going to do is you're going to make like a little pinpoint in this first picture, okay, with you and the getting your exercise shoes on. And as you look at that picture and you're staring at it and you see through like this little, like just this little pinpoint through there, we're going to make that pinpoint get bigger and smaller. And every time it gets bigger, those puppies are going to come through on that backside and you're going to be able to see them even more. Okay. So
Okay.
let's look at that. Let's look at the first picture with you doing the running shoes. Okay, and you're putting them on, and then let's make the picture, let's make it bigger and wider. Okay, just in your mind's eye. Okay, and then now you can see you loving the puppies in the back. Okay, and those puppies are loving you. You just love, it's just unconditional love. You just feel, like I said, this just your cup of joy overflowing. Okay, now let's make it smaller. So now we can see you putting on your shoes and getting ready to go. Okay, and you're putting your shoes on. All right. And then
Okay.
now let's make the hole bigger so you can see the puppies behind. Okay. And again, they're just licking your face. They're just want to just be held and loved and cuddled. Okay. And it's just that, like I said, that unconditional love. All right. And then now zoom back in. And now you see yourself putting running shoes on. And you keep doing this back and forth with making this bigger and making it smaller so that now those 2 files can be together. Okay. So when you feel like you're going to go put your running shoes on, it may not be like this big sense of dread. It may be like, oh, this is going to bring me joy just like that brought me joy. So you would just do that probably about 10 times, kind of going back and forth with that.
Okay.
Okay. So did you have any different, and I should have checked in with how that made you feel. How did it make you feel? Like, even like when you were just telling me in the beginning, like when we were going to put the picture on the fingers, how did that make you feel? Were you like, it's okay to go to put my shoes on. It's whatever. You were kind of a little like, it's kind of indifferent.
Right.
Right. Like this is what I have to do. But then after we do the 2 pictures with did it make you a little bit more excited? Did it make you a little bit more like, hey, I think I can do this?
Yeah. It makes my heart, feel.
Right? Yeah. And so I think that that's super cool. So that's kind of what it does. It kind of puts that, you know what I mean? It kind of puts that joy in your heart, like, hey, I can do this. Hey, and so that you can do this with some other things as well. But like with that dread of exercise or that not wanting to go do something, sometimes I do this when I have a social engagement that I do not want to go to. And because I know once I get there, I'll have fun, but sometimes getting me out the door is like, right? And so I have done this for that social engagement before, and that has also helped with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is it called other than figure eight? I mean, if we were to look it
Uh,
up, want to
oh,
find a technique.
it's gonna be under your resistance to exercise. That's what it's gonna be, or
You mean
on
in our
Brittany's stuff.
program?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll be under jumpstart your metabolism is where I also have found it on some of the handout stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I like about this is that, or I guess we could call it the swish as well. Okay, is with you know what I mean? Is what we do when we put those two together. Okay, so I call this the figure eight. I know that they were calling it like I or like even like the infinity symbol, and then the swish is those two together. Okay, but it's all under the jumpstart your metabolism in in the printout sheets, and then in the lessons, it's under the resistance to exercise.
Okay.
Yep, along with those sheets should be in there too. Okay. And so there's also different apps and stuff that we can use that can kind of help us be accountable if you're an app person as well. I kind of forget that I put the apps on my phone. I'm so good at downloading them. And then I'm like, what was that for that I downloaded 4 years ago? But there are some apps out there. There's like the Healthy Habits app that you can like check to see that you like when you exercise, you just say, yep, I did it. And then it kind of shows your progress. So very much just like the calendar that Karen was showing, because I am a very visual person. So maybe sometimes some of you are also visual and you may need that as well. Okay. But if you're finding that you have resistance to this, and it's like it's hard to get into doing the figure eight, and you're like, then not getting what I need to, check in with your feelings and see what's coming up. There may be some echoes there that maybe we need to go back and tap on that maybe to get rid of those so that we're able to do this. Because if, like I said earlier, if there's been like something traumatic or something like that. Like say you were swimming in the ocean and the wave knocked your top off, and now you're like, I never want to get in the pool again, or whatever. There might be some trauma behind that that you might want to work through. Do we have any questions? That was a good question, Rocky. Thank you. Or anything that maybe you guys are like, hey, I'm going to give this a try. Um, let's see. Let's see. Oh, hold on a second. There's something in the chat, but I need to read what it is really quick. It said, thank you, Rocky. Would you like to tap to our losses? And I know, oh, well, that's for you, Rocky. But if you guys have any questions, you guys are more than welcome to put them in the chat. I would set like a smaller goal. So maybe that's kind of maybe some of our homework is to set a smaller goal of maybe if we're like, oh, I should be doing this every day, maybe doing it 3 times a week. Maybe putting it on our calendar, even just star stickers or whatever. And when you get to 10 stars, then you're like, I'm going to go get my nails done. It can be something like that. Like I said, I don't like to use food as a reward because I think that that's going to mess with our minds. And I just don't like to do that even with kids. Or hey, I'm going to call my friend that I've been trying to, kind of connect with. Or I used to have this buddy that I used to go walking with. I know right now is a little bit hard because of the weather, but it is starting to stay lighter longer. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but I am all over that. Yeah, Rocky's like, yep, I am all over that. Like right now, I can still kind of see the outline of the trees, and it's 6 o'clock here. And so just kind of excited about that type of stuff. And then I've also noticed that the birds are chirping when I go out in the morning. And so like the springtime birds. So it is coming, I promise. But also too, if you guys think of any things that you guys would like to share, let us know. But I also want you to understand this is self-care. And I know that there's a lot about this self-care piece, and you hear it everywhere, self-care, self-care. But it is self-care. It's also that mental care as well. So make sure that you're understanding that too. And it's okay as us as caregivers doing this, because I'm a better caregiver when I do these things. And I can remember why people would ask me, why do you do this? I'm like, because I'm a better mommy when I do. I have more patience. I sleep better. I just am a better all around person. And so that's why I do it. So that does make a big difference for me. So I'm curious, try it for a week, maybe just those 3 times, and report back next time we're on a buddy call and just see how you feel. Just check it out and see. Get curious, you guys. Just be like, hey, what is that all about? And then, you know, like I said, reach out to a friend, just try it and see what happens. Okay. So nobody has any questions? And like I said, the figure 8 is going to be on your resistance to exercise. There's also sheets in there as well. Like I said, I use it for some other things besides just the exercise. I do use it for social engagements on stuff that I'm not really wanting to go do, but I know that I'm going to go do. So that's also a thought. Well, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you guys always. It's always nice to see your beautiful faces, and always nice to see your beautiful pictures on here. Maybe one day I'll figure out how to do that. So take care, and we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.